Call the meeting to order. What is it? 10:07. All right, call the meeting to order. And we'll go ahead and get started. So we don't really have financial statements, right? And that nothing has changed. So we're not too worried about that. And there hasn't really been any mail or correspondence aside email from Deborah, which has several things that we'll kind of sprinkle. Cause she was just, what about this and this and this? You don't want it? You can have it. Oh yeah, our action minutes.
Send me like summary, kind of what the action is gonna be.
Yeah, I can, if we make any like decisions, can I just type it in my notes? Okay, so I'll go ahead and try to take a little bit of notes as we go through. Thank you for that. I'm gonna make a separate page for that just in case we make any grand decisions. Okay. But then really, it's the same, we really only need to do like if we pass motions or whatever. Okay. If anybody really wants to muddle through it. Okay, yeah, you never know. Okay. What's the first thing? Who puts it forward? Is that what it is?
Who seconded?
Whether it carries or.
Thank you. Motion, who made the motion? Seconded. Votes. Okay, just writing it down so we have it when it's time if we need to. Okay. Okay, so I had to put together the agenda a bit last minute. We kind of know the things we need to go through. We'll just try to use our time wisely so we're not here for 4 hours. Yeah, so no financial statements to go over. The correspondence will trickle through. The logistics, this is gonna make me sound like a terrible leader, but I have the last goals that I have that were like our overarching goals are not, the one that I could find is not the most recent one. I'm dealing with like a computer changeover, so I'm feeling a little guilty that I don't have that. I will continue to look for that as we go. I don't think we were really considering re-editing those goals, but we did talk about making like a bigger plan. And do you want to speak to that? Just thinking about like 1 year out in the grants.
I did receive some correspondence. The Clackamas Coalition grant is now open. But because we don't have any plans of what we want to do or how we want to use a prospective grant, or when a grant becomes available, there's nothing we can do. So this would be because we have lack of information. I have less than 2 weeks to turn it in if we decide to do something today. But there's been another grant we had to miss, because we had nothing on deck ready to go.
So, like stuff like Arts of the Creek or
Again, it takes a
the
group.
poetry in public places, like we couldn't ask for a grant. We have to specify, basically. We
You
can't
have to
just,
specify what the grant is about.
okay.
And how you're going to use it. It just can't be a general.
So
like to
we
throw
could
some
ask
together.
for a grant for promotion for Arts of the Creek or,
Which we did last year.
okay,
So, but it takes a group consensus going forward, like, for future opportunities, regarding grants. These are specific things we would like to apply those grant monies towards. That gives me a running track where I don't have to get approval from anyone to go ahead and apply for grants, because
Yeah.
I can't move ahead.
so let's pick some stuff today that we want to apply for
Yes,
grants for.
yes,
It's a
yes,
great
and
idea.
that's what we're looking at. For example, you could have a goal, a 2-year goal, for example, because, for example, we would like to do this event, whatever that is, 50% coming from our current budget, 50% coming from the grant. For example, just an example, if you wanted to promote First Nations, our heritage, what we assumed here from the First Nations in Art of the Creek next year. Then if we want to focus towards having maybe some Indian dances or an art show in the building for First Nations, or maybe telling the story, then that would fulfill things like heritage, which is heavily weighted, minorities, there's a whole bunch of things we could do.
So like for music, like remember we had talked about like a mariachi band or like getting some like indigenous dancers or something like that. We could specifically be like, this grant goes towards paying artists, First
Right.
Nation artists,
Like
or what, or like,
increasing participation and
Latino
representation.
artists or whatever.
So it's
Eh.
how we're taking our current programs or a new program, but at current programs, and how we're enlarging it or improving it in one specific area. So it just doesn't go to general budget.
Okay.
So
That-
this came up because the grant had come up and there was a focus around like First Nations, Indigenous, and he
Right.
reached out to me and I was like, what? We need to like have a consensus.
We need to talk about it,
together,
yeah.
Talk about it. And then we were like, oh, we don't meet until later this month. Oh no.
Right.
And it's been this sort of like, we don't want to make that call. We need to have like a group conversation about it. So if we have those group conversations now, if they come up, then we can be quicker to action.
And it would be nice to have more than one opportunity. For example, if we want to grow supporting local artists, take it up to the next level other than just promoting it on Facebook, or letting them teach a class, which we reimburse. Think of how we would do that and how those monies would be used. Anyway, just to have, I would say have 3 different projects that you want to do. That would
Okay.
allow funding, and it would allow us to grow if we had the funding.
I think one of the big ones that we always talk about is promotion, and like if we could get a grant for one of our or several of our events that were like for sign making, for ads, for like real promotion,
Yeah, that's what our last grant award was for.
It was?
exactly
Okay.
that. Mhm.
But specifically for Arts at the Creek, not other.
or
things.
or for, we could pick. I mean, Arts of the Creek is our one big event right now. Now that we're not doing Estacada Creates.
Right.
So we could pick we could do an opening for Poetry in Public Places. And do like an event that day. Or something like that, like I don't know if you're thinking of doing like a ribbon cutting at like one of the first places where we're putting a sign or whatever. And then we could have like food and a band and, just an hour long thing.
So that's what we want to settle on today.
Okay.
At least get started, and we can amend those in upcoming meetings, So at least it gives us a track in the interim. That'd be a working document. So, yeah. So you want to propose, let's write some of these down.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
Well, I love the idea if, once we get things moving on Poetry of the Parks, of having like an event and, having like, this was a Mankato
I can
initiative.
speak to that when we get to it. on the
Okay,
agenda.
but like have like a bluegrass or even like, David, or is it Dave and Barb? Am I saying that right?
Rick and Barb.
Rick and Barb, having like something just like it could just be us and our families and some of the poets or whatever. It doesn't have to be, it would be great if it was everyone, but like having a little music.
But that's not something we would like write a grant for, right? So we need to think yes to all of that, but I think we can do that within our current budget.
Oh, okay.
So we're thinking like next year, like what are some bigger picture things that we could do?
And part of the grant, I'm sorry, I jumped in.
No, that's. go
Part of
for
the
it.
grant metrics involves what percentage of the population are you affecting? What percentage will come? How are you going to measure this? So to have a
Oh.
small group, that really doesn't qualify
Oh,
for the
okay.
grant.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I was saying it could only be a small group. It would be awesome if it
Yeah.
wasn't, but you know what I
But
mean?
I wonder if part of it could be, like you were talking about Arts at the Creek, like doing a show in the building
Mhm.
and
That's a
maybe
great idea.
doing like, I'm wondering if it could be,
It could still
like,
be
'cause you
open
remember
for
with the
eating and stuff,
mariachi-
but we could cover the walls or have easels set up all around as well.
I wonder if we could make next year's Arts at the Creek be like with a multicultural focus.
Mhm.
A little bit bigger than the First Nations, just because we do have like the Hispanic population and other
Mm-hmm.
minority populations that we could, it might be easier to cast a wider net to
Mhm.
start. So I wonder if we could make like a multicultural focus with the music
Mm-hmm.
and
Some
with
art.
the show. Mm-hmm.
But that would be good. And I could, for example, I could contact the First Nations that were here were absorbed into the Grand Ronde tribe.
Mm.
So I could actually contact Grand Ronde and see if they could pull together sampling of art pieces for
Mhm.
the show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
think that would be
then,
great.
so.
Just on loan, basically.
On
Yeah.
loan, right? And that we'd have to talk about insurance and, just make sure someone's
That's something
there.
the grant could go towards. And
Yes,
yeah.
and the same with Latin American.
I mean,
Focus.
because we could have, it could be performance related, but we
Yep.
could also make more of an effort towards recruiting community organizations that
Mhm.
represent more multicultural groups, people.
For 26. Now that could be
Mhm.
something that would apply for this grant. I'd have to
Mhm.
really scramble to get it done in 2 weeks, but I can give it my best shot. So
Oh,
if
and I'm-
everyone's I make a motion that we augment next year's Art in the Creek to include a focus on indigenous populations, specifically
Can we
for
say
multicultural. do you like-
multicultural? I think that's a wider
Okay,
net.
Yeah.
multicultural,
Start.
they're gonna ask for specifics, so like First Nations and the Latino background.
That's kind of the biggest
Yes.
that I see in our community. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys have another. more
And
thoughts about
I
that.
think that the fact that we don't have a lot of First Nations people here, that is our heritage, it is our history, it's what was assumed here. I have
I second.
okay, you
So
second.
make
Everyone's,
let me write the whole motion down. I'm taking my notes. Make the focus of Arts at the Creek 2026 on multicultural
Artists
artists,
from the community.
performance,
Featuring First Nations.
First Nation.
featuring First Nations and are we thinking like First Nations and I'm not gonna say the right word. Is it gonna Hispanic?
Latino,
Latino
Latinx, Latino.
and
Okay.
Latino.
And it doesn't need to be our entire focus, it could be one of our focal points. Because we still want community.
Making
but-
a focus.
Yeah.
Of Arts at the Creek 2026 on multicultural artists, artists, community organizations and performances
Mhm.
featuring First Nations and Latino members of our community.
Yep. Okay, so that's one. That helps me a lot. Thank you.
Okay, so now you may make your motion. I have it written down. Okay,
I make a motion to
Yep.
do exactly what you said. Okay. And you're
can
gonna-
we get a second?
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Done.
So official.
And I have an idea, speaking of like, arts of the Creek and community and stuff. I was thinking about this last year, but of course it was, 3 a.m, 2 days before the event or something. But having a chainsaw artist as one of our histories as Timbertown,
Cool. That would be
having a
awesome.
live demonstration of a chainsaw artist. Maybe
Great.
between bands, if we do get like 2 big bands like we had last time, and then, we've got like that nice gap in the middle, where he could be over to or he, she, whoever, it could be off to the side so they can, the bands can still load out, load in, or in front of with the stuff that's going on behind. But Chainsaw Art's a real, like, as our heritage as a timber town, it's a real, not indigenous, but it's a original art historic art to the area.
Yeah, it's a great
And it's
idea.
fun to watch.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
is cool.
cool and like kids dig it and grown-ups to dig it and
I do think that it would be really cool to have more, like action happening, like performances like that.
Mhm.
It's not performance or just like watching people.
So
great
like, and we
point.
have, the logger out here. And so I don't know,
I think it'd be cool to have somebody doing like caricatures. I wonder if we have like, like just people where people are literally doing art at the
yeah.
event.
Yeah, instead of just standing, at a booth, which is hard, which is harder for a lot of artists than making the art, to be honest, selling, but yeah, having, or a bubble person or whatever, but I really love the idea of chainsaw art, and that was a thing I think that we had done at Timberfest previously, and it always drew a big crowd, so I don't know,
It's a great idea.
keep our ears and eyes open and reach out, and if we all reach out a little bit, we be able to find somebody.
If the grants allow it, I think that component for advertising is really crucial.
Yeah.
That's where we don't
Well, and to
get
reach,
very far. And I think a lot, if you have local, local assets, like say the Outlook newspaper is trying to cover the east side of Portland down to us quite thoroughly. But if you buy paid ads with them, they tend to follow up on other activities. So,
I
and
think that
there's local radio or,
I
we
think
could
that in our
do that.
efforts too, that would fall really neatly under this to be able to reach those members of our community. So that might be also like, helping with like Todos Juntos, giving like, nice looking flyers and something that we're actually physically maybe going to some events and handing out that information, and like that might fit into that grant, because part of including the like whole community is reaching the community.
Mhm.
So promotion could be under that piece as well.
Flyers would be good because we go to a lot of those places with a table and we have nothing to hand out.
Mhm.
So,
Could be.
And-
Yeah, when I supported the couple different fairs with the button making machine, which broke down.
mhm.
We were next to downtown mission, and people are always going to their table asking for a calendar of events. So for us to have a calendar of events of what we are doing would really go a long way. So that's a great idea. If I could take a second and go back to, if we focus on, have part of the focus being on First Nations, I have a bee in my bonnet I just can't let go of. And I was shocked when I was doing research on the history of Estacada to find this not only in the newspapers of 1904, 1905, 1905 specifically, but also within our city documentation online. We are bragging about the fact that we promised the local Indians here, we promised them $2,500 if we could take their land. They agreed. We have never paid that bill. Estacada has never paid $2,500. And I've told other people, and they laugh and they said, well, those Indians no longer exist, but they've been absorbed into the Grand Ronde. And I'm like, I don't care if you can find a direct, the fact is, it's part of the Grand Ronde now. We have a $2,500 bill that was owed from the early 1900s, and we are boasting almost on our city site that we have never, ever paid our bill. That's wrong. $2,500. I could raise that in a week. And to prove, and because the city has done nothing, I would love if during Arts in the Creek, we present them a $2,500 check. Now, that would be token, because if you
Yeah.
brought it up these
Right.
days, it's like 200,000
Right.
close to. But if we have to go there, we have to go there. But we would be the only city, the only county, and one of the in Oregon, but especially in the United States, very few have actually ever paid their bill.
Right.
It's the right thing to do. But if you're talking about publicity, this thing will explode that we actually paid our bill.
It might really help to draw them in with meaningful participation in the event as well.
Yeah, and the news media would just go bonkers. I think we're gonna get some pushback that is it our job to do this? Someone's gonna have to pay the bill. Are we citizens of Estacada? Yes. Let's pay the darn bill. I am absolutely ashamed. This has never been paid and they laugh at it. I just.
Yeah,
shocked.
if,
So
I
the question
mean,
is, where would that money come from?
well, she said she would fundraise, that's what.
We'll get it
which is
separate, but
in-
it'll be done. If I have to do it myself.
In
I'll do it.
town
No,
or,
I totally agree. I'm just playing devil's advocate because when we do our budgets to the city and when people say like, this is Estacada. Let's play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
For the people that don't think this is a good idea. And they say like, I don't want my city money going to that.
It won't.
it
It'll
wouldn't, that's
be
the
That's
thing,
totally
it
separate,
wouldn't
yeah.
be
We
city
just have
money.
to be careful
Yeah.
to navigate that in today's climate where I think it's an amazing thing to do. I'm obviously 100%, 200, 300% on board. We just have to make sure we navigate the
Yeah.
way that we are
It's
doing
privately
that.
raised.
Yeah, just in a way that that stands to the critique of those who are going to come at us about it in a different way.
As I've been thinking about this, I think the pushback is going to come. Who are you to do this?
Mhm.
Not that we're taking city money, because this is private individual donations. But who are you? It should come from the city, but it's been 120
People
years.
that
and they've
care,
done
that's- yeah.
nothing. So, and it's not, when I brought it up to some city officials, they're like, I had no idea. Well, it's on your website. It's actually in the city website. You talk that you've never paid this bill.
Hmm.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
But to me, there's so much, there's only good that can come out of it. The only negative is like, so who do you think you are to pay our bill? Well, I'm a citizen. I've got it.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, that's the pushback we're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean,
think it's a
as
great
long as we can show in our financials, we didn't say, hey, can I get a $2,500 check to
Mhm.
give away at Arts of the Creek?
Well, I
I
guarantee
mean-
you right now it's covered.
Yeah,
I've-
if
it's
we
covered,
could,
it's
if
done.
you wanted to fundraise for it privately, I would be all for it. And I would even
I think that's great. I'd
give
donate.
Throw in a
$50.
dollar.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'd
I've
give a
got it.
couple dollars myself.
So it's done.
Awesome.
That'll
So
be
let's
part of
make
it.
a motion around that because that's a big thing. Right?
Okay, make a motion that we pay $2,500 owed,
How about we say
Right.
gift them.
fundraise will fundraise.
Okay,
Fundraise.
Just
to-
want to make sure
to
we
pay-
put this in there because I'm like,
No, yeah,
yeah.
we
fundraise,
got to do it in a way it's unassailable.
fundraise to
Well, fundraise.
pay our $25,000 debt.
2,500.
The
Or
prom-
$2,500,
2,500.
$2,500 debt.
promised in,
Yeah, promised in the charter, or
To-
whatever.
Pay to the Grand Ronde
well,
tribe.
well, now I need to call Grand Ronde. Because this is just gonna be a token. I mean, it's not what we actually
yeah.
have them as of today. Hopefully this will start
Settle.
something.
I mean, it's a motion to
gonna stir it up.
fundraise to try to pay that bill. It's not, if things go sideways and they say, no, thank you, it's not like,
Yeah.
you know,
The EAAC will fundraise $2,500 to pay to the Grand Ronde tribe to settle the bill Estacada
Promised. in our founding.
promised in the founding of the city
Yep.
in the early 1900s.
Yep.
I wonder if, should we have, can you pull up that part of the,
City charter?
yeah, I'd like to read the actual wordage.
So Beverly, are you making that motion?
Sure. I make that motion. What is it? I'll read it.
Uh,
I make a motion that our council will fundraise $2,500 to pay the Grand Ronde tribe to settle our bill as Estacada promised in the founding of our city in the early 1900s.
Can we get a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. So I'll check with Grand Ronde. Okay. It was just there.
Awesome. Okay.
Part of my goal, if I were to dream like outside the box of what we're doing, just something totally different. I think there's an area of art that we've had a hard time quantifying. and how do we support it? And that's digital art. But Isabella, this is your bailiwick, right? Digital art? Yeah. And I've, other people have come up who are into digital art. We just haven't focused on it. And I don't know if it would be a digital art show, like we sponsor a digital art show here or, so,
What if we
but
made that
somehow.
in one of the art in the library,
It
calls
could-
for artists?
It
like-
could be also that there would be a first, second, third place scholarship, because most of these are, I want, people in their thirties on down, but in high school, this is a big deal. And maybe it's to bring in someone who's really well known to do like a little, how we mentor up and coming artists. That would be part of what we're doing, not only promoting artists, but mentoring them. Do you have any ideas on this, Isabella? If we were to do something on digital art, what would you think? And what could happen?
I think it'd be fun to do like an art show, where like you show just like different people's on a slideshow or something,
Hmm.
just to showcase it,
Yeah, it's something you don't print, so it'd be something that we would have to show on a screen,
like a digital art gallery.
okay?
Mhm. That could also be something that, I'm sure we could figure out a way to put it on the website as well. Like we could put it on the city website if we were able to create like a slideshow. I'm sure there's a way to do that on the website, so it could also be there.
Also be there, but
Mhm.
having it, be it here and, through a hookup show. Something, and I don't know where it would be held, it would be at the school, a special event at the school, or.
Hmm.
But I would love to see that starting to be wrapped in. I don't know how to do that because I'm not in that area. I've designed brochures and stuff, but this is your area, so. If you had to dream up something, you said an art show? Where do you think it should be held?
Maybe like the Spiral Gallery.
Maybe they would do it.
Do they have a screen?
I don't know. if
I
they're-
don't even,
Or could screen, yeah.
What about the old community room at the library?
the
But-
floor room?
Yeah,
What's the floor room?
It's the indoor community room at the library.
It's like the.
You go in, you go down the hallway.
to the far left, yeah.
It's where we use our things for Wade Creek room. But
Crafts
I
and
would
stuff there.
Mhm.
think that they might have
I've done yoga.
facility.
Check for it. Because it's like you could hang up some and then you would have
But
the
we would
rest
also be able to
looping
Set up a slideshow.
on a
Yeah.
monitor somewhere.
Yeah.
It might be good, okay.
Now, if we can practice with the library before arts at the creek, we might be able to be ready to do that
I mean,
later on. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But also
Okay.
Arts of the Creek is one day and art at the library, stuff would stay up and for a month or 3 months or however long. Is it quarterly? Is it monthly?
Well,
It's
current show is
depends.
supposed to be
Yeah, it
down in
depends.
September and stuff there.
Okay, so it's loose.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm
Um,
sure they would have a monitor available that they could put somewhere.
Okay, we're gonna chat more about that because
Yeah,
I have more to
okay.
share from Deborah about that.
Okay.
So those are the two pieces would be like the multicultural focus for arts at the creek and then thinking about how we could do a digital
art.
Yeah.
digital art show or digital art promotion. I have on here to discuss commissioner recruitment for openings. I wondered, we would love to,
I have possibly recruited a member.
oh, great.
She's not here today because it's our planning meeting. So I was like, I don't know if it's appropriate for you to show up or not, but I believe she might come during our November
Did she apply already?
meeting. She has not applied. I think she wants to feel it out a little bit. She's a stay-at-home mom. She's got one that just started 2 days a week in preschool, and the other is a first grader with my daughter at Rivermill. She's also a working artist. She does textile art. And so we just had a lunch meeting at the Grind on Tuesday to talk about it. So yeah, so she, I think she is a little like, oh, 7 o'clock is bedtime and, like her husband has church meetings on Wednesday and stuff. And I was like, I feel like we can make it work. I think you should come to our next meeting and all those questions that you're trepidatious about, you can ask. But, I was like, we're pretty loose. Like I've definitely brought my kids to meetings and we're like, we have to be quick. I have
Well,
two
and I-
kids ruining City Hall right now.
Yeah.
And she was like, pretty much like, yeah, I think, we could make it work. I think, my husband could take a kid if it falls on a night where he has to have a church meeting or something like that. But
But
I think
also
she would be a
wonder if
great
we
fit.
could- I have two thoughts about this. One, I want to put your flyer out. Do you have the file of the flyer that you made?
Yeah.
Will you send that to me?
Mhm.
Like just email it to me, because then I can send it to the social media gal and put it on the city Facebook.
What's
Because
your
it's,
email again?
you can send it to just Arts Commission at City of Estacada. And that way we can make sure because that's prettier than anything I'm gonna make. And that way we can make sure it's posted on Facebook and we can do blasts every once in a while of it.
Mhm.
Secondly, I wonder, you're talking about the timing of our meeting. Other commissions meet at other times. I
Yeah.
wonder if we are open to meeting a half hour earlier to make it easier on folks. Because I don't know why it's this time, but I noticed that other commissions meet at other times and
Yeah.
and that's something to ask Alex. But like, if it's a strain, which I know it is on me, like, could we meet at 6
Right.
instead of 6:30?
Absolutely.
Like, I'm just wondering if you guys are flexible with that, because for me, like the later, it's hard to get to.
Or
And
even like
it's-
5:30?
I don't know what the
is
options
that too
can
early?
be. There's nothing else happening in City Hall before our meeting, as far as I know about, and I don't know what the city staffer. It's something to ask Alex about. If that was a possibility, would you guys be comfortable meeting earlier?
Yes.
I would, and I would,
Because I would
I
love to
would
not have that be
even,
so.
if it could be like earlier than 6, that would be great. For me, 6 and 6:30 is 6 of one, half dozen the other. But like at 5:30, because then our longest meetings are only an hour and a half. So if,
Mhm.
we met at 5:30, we could all be out by 7. Most likely we'll be out by 6:30, 6:45. And that would be a help, to me personally. I don't know if other people
That's
can
why-
meet that
That's
early.
why I'm bringing it
Yeah,
up.
yeah. I know
you
you guys are retired, like, you're not in offices till 5 every day, correct? Or,
and even when I'm working, I can be back in town by 5 easily.
okay, yeah.
So I guess the question is more about maybe Alex.
Alex,
We can ask
Mike,
her.
and this might be, something to
We could
bring
make,
up at the next full meeting to
when we have
where,
everybody.
yeah, and then we can, if we want to move it, I think that's a great idea.
If we were to move it, what would we want to propose?
That we move our
What
meeting,
time?
I would say 5:30.
Just so I can write it down. Would that be a comfortable time for
I think if
folks?
we're looking at recruiting more members, we might want some working people. So 5 would probably be too early.
5:30
Yeah.
might be
Yeah,
easier.
yeah, but 5:30 would.
And it's not,
Mm-hmm.
like it's set in stone. If we get people that are like, oh, I really want to join, but I can't get here till 5:45. Yeah, we can,
It is what it is.
yeah.
Like,
I can't do weekends is my thing.
no, I think weekends
But,
isn't out
so
because of
week-
city staff
week
anyway.
evening, right, that makes sense.
So like, we have to, it needs to be on a weekday. I think like the first Wednesdays are kind of our day.
Yeah,
because
first Wednesdays is
everybody has the
fine.
first, second Thursday, the whatever.
Mhm.
I just had that wondering about that, especially when you say that about that mom, like it is a strain to meet at 6:30.
Yeah,
And as far as I know, like I know Deborah worked later, so that was more of a problem, but, yeah. Okay, so, let's, ask about that at the next full meeting.
yeah. And the only thing now that I said it is that I'm wondering if city staff is gonna have an issue meeting that early. Maybe 6 is better than 5:30.
I think we ask,
We ask, okay,
can't hurt. They have meetings everywhere with the planning meetings and the city council, they have meetings kind of all over the evening.
right,
It was when I saw that I was like, wait, we don't have to meet at 6:30, I don't
Right.
think. I'm pretty sure we can shift that.
yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
know Parks meets at 6, but,
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's discuss that in November. And we can ask Alex also. Okay. So I have just a sort of a quick review of the events and projects. I don't want to go through every single one and say like what worked, what didn't, what are we doing? But just a little bit of a like double check. Does this align with what we're doing? Was it worth the effort that we're putting in? Do we want to move forward? And if we want to move forward and do that project again, who can take leadership of it? And just kind of have it down. Nobody's making motion or making any major progress on any of these things right now. It's kind of our downtime. But it would be nice to just have like a little quick review as we talk about doing new and different things. So I just wanted to do that. I just want to have that, kind of about before making our little subcommittees of
Right.
people and not hashing out all the details right now, but just making sure that we know kind of what our plan is and what we are absolutely on about next year and what we are done doing. So poetry in public places, before you say a thing, just because I don't forget. I had it as like Dave. Zach at the library, I was inspired about the poetry project that was published by a group in Estacada back in like it was 20, it might have been a little bit later than that. And so she said, let me just read what she says. Zach has a great
poems in particular places. Like I want mine to go at River Mill School because that's. Where was that
Oh,
from?
not just
Or Clark-
randomized.
Yeah, just,
talking about placing the ones from this year,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
for more new ones next year.
yeah. And then we do the same thing next year, probably. And I do think this is like a 3 to 5 year program. I'm hoping, if I were coordinated, I would try to get the advertising out late this fall and get everything in. So by February or middle to late February, we would have our selections made and we could go right to.
I
the
thought
press.
this talked about having these ones up for at least a year before we got new ones.
We're not going to
done.
replace them. We're going to add to it, is
Oh.
my idea. So we add to it for about 2 to 3 years and then the signs start weathering. And then we can go back and.
Do we
look
have
at-
enough places to put
Yeah, I
another-
think so.
How
A
many
lot of
do
the
we have right
a
now?
lot of the places are big places that we have 15.
Okay.
A lot of the places are big places that could hold more than one. And we're, part of what Deborah was talking about, is getting timber park, but we have to have money for installing.
Mhm.
So if we expand our physical area, we have to expand the budget a little bit because we will have to pay for placing the signs.
Right, it's not city property.
Because it's not
anymore.
city property.
Mm.
The city staff can only do city property in the schools.
Right.
So those are, I guess, things to have in mind. And again, I would think if we do, this 10 to 15 for 3 years, then we would start looking at the signs that weather.
Right.
And we'd be
replacing.
looking at replacement, and maybe we just say every 3 years we replace that previous year. That's,
I just wonder
Those are
about, we
things.
can't really promote it until we have the first ones up though.
no, that's, yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah.
Okay,
I'm hoping that will take place in the next couple of weeks. And,
have you talked to Lake and seen what the,
not recently. Vincent has checked with her a couple times. I talked with her right after Vincent got the design in, and he said he's been checking with her, but
It might
she
be-
also said that it came in at a really busy time for her.
okay.
So she had a lot of work to do, and
It might be worth, since Vincent's not the one that made the order, like we could call.
yeah.
I
I
think
can-
we should call. I don't think
Gotcha.
we should rely on Vincent.
No, I just don't want to bug people when they're trying to get work done, but
I think it's good to bug them.
I'll follow up now.
Yeah, yeah. Tell them we told you to bug
Yeah.
them.
No, that's okay. I can do that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a few weeks, and she said she was really busy, so,
I'll be a
Gotcha.
reader for next year.
okay.
I kind of wanted to be one this year and I
Okay.
missed the boat, so yeah.
But I wanted to stay out this year because I wanted to get one of my poems up,
Yeah.
and I did, so,
I can volunteer.
okay. Good.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Okay. The next thing we have is the art in the library. And again, per Deborah's email, this art in here will be coming down by like December or January, and then the 120th show will be coming down here, hoping that we'll have the hanging system. I'm going to email Melanie about getting that, about the hanging system in here. They already approved doing it. They just haven't done it yet. So I just want to make sure the timing is there, because when we do the next hang, it would be a million times easier if we just had the little clippy things. She doesn't have there was supposed to be this poster. Tyra was going to do the prevention posters, and then the posters were going to be there, but she only has like 5 of them. So basically that's the next idea for art in the library. It kind of went kaput. And Deborah emailed me an idea, which I'm like, I was just talking about this idea in August when we were talking about the tiny art show that Oregon City has done. So a tiny art show could be a really cool community event. And Deborah even suggested like we could invest in a whole bunch of canvases, and then people could come and pick up a canvas and take it home, work on it, and then we have like a date to submit it, and
Like a
then we
little
could
4
do,
by 4.
yeah, like a little one.
Normally they're like 6 by 6.
Yeah, like maybe,
It's hard to get them.
yeah, like 5 by 5 or 6 by 6.
It's a 6 by 6 show.
So if we did that, then we could have people, you could just come and pick up a canvas, and then everyone could submit it by a certain time. And then we could have a cool community art show of like a whole bunch of tiny art.
Would there be like a theme?
I think the theme is tiny art. Yeah, the theme is tiny. And so you just can do whatever, because that can be whatever fits on there, right? It could be collage. You could tear it up and do a weaving. You could have, it could be a painting. It could be a photograph. It could be anything that's this big. But we would hand out the canvases or specify the exact size so that it would be easy to hang, and it would be uniform in that way only.
So
it
you
would
would-
be like a,
Pick the campuses up at City Hall and or the library?
Mhm.
Okay.
So I think that could be really fun.
think
She
that's a great
suggested
idea.
feel like it could be, we could do a workshop around it too. I don't know that we really need to do a workshop around it, because then I feel like we're adding a big thing.
I think it's something we could actually invite Art Smith in. do a workshop and produce, you know. have a
See if
class
the
about it.
Artsmith would like to
Yeah,
do a
I'm sure
workshop.
I'm sure they. So,
And it could be something like, and I need to mention this also, it's down here with like the sponsored workshops, but Christina Sellers, who's the one that was putting together that, she's feeling overwhelmed by everything she's doing right now and asked if she could do that in later. So she wants to do it in like February after the holidays. So it
Which
could
one?
also
The
be
block print?
something. The block printing is the one that already happened in the
Oh,
summer,
okay, right.
but Christina is the one that came and gave us the proposal about doing like a 2-part workshop.
That's right, right.
Which we all said was great and it was a good idea. And then I emailed her to ask her for like the visual so that we could promote it. And she was like, ooh,
Right.
can we do it later? It's like, okay, sure. So I mean, a fun idea. We would want to switch it out. So it would have to be, it would be somewhere around like maybe January.
With them to
She
be
will-
turned in.
Yeah, she said she wants Carl to help Erlene take these things down in December or January. So it might be something like a show that would go up in January.
So the 120, what she has there is supposed to be coming down here for 3 months. Are we not doing that then?
No, so this stuff will come down in December or January. The 120th will come here and then we need
For
a
3
new thing.
months.
Yeah.
So that'll be January, February, March, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not been with any sort of regularity like that, but we could make it that way.
Just
It's
so-
been very much like, what's the next thing? Yeah, like it would be up. So we wouldn't want to have something to put up in the library probably in January.
So we want to start handing these out
Soon.
now or November. Yeah, I'm into it. That sounds great.
The art show.
So if we, um,
So we had them out in November and they go up. You said
January, I think if we put if we put the due date somewhere in early January.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
it's kind of just a fun thing. And it could be, and it's something I could have the bandwidth to put together like a little visual for that and like a little thing in between now and our next meeting and put together a little proposal and like do some price and stuff for that.
Like turn in by January 5th. That's like the first Monday after all the holidays. and
What they
everything.
did in Oregon City for the tiny art show. I think it was Oregon City, or was it?
Oregon City
Excellent.
does one, but a lot of people
Yeah,
do that.
it's the one I checked into. They just give the dimensions. They
Mhm.
don't supply the artwork.
Yeah.
The-
I
the-
think to encourage participation, we could say this or
your
pick
own.
one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, or your own.
Well, and that also weeds out people that are like, I think this is right. And you're like, sorry, thanks for working for 2 months. It's too big. We can't do it or whatever.
Exact measurement.
If everyone, I was in, oh gosh, what was the name of the group? It was an art group in Portland years ago. They have a art event every year. Oh, gosh, darn it, I can't remember the name of it, but they did it but they handed out these 4x4, they were just pieces of wood. But you could do whatever you wanted onto it. People glue stuff onto it. People like said collage, decoupage, painted, whatever. Chalk art. And then they put them all together and it made this massive collage. That didn't make any sense, it was.
That's kind of how this, it'll be
and-
like a tile.
Yeah,
kind
and
of-
each one had a number on it, so you knew where like number 16 went, if it's 5 across or whatever, it went over there. So it wasn't really up to any one person to like put it together in a way that they saw fit, which like it made sure it was randomized in that way, and it was really cool.
That's very cool. I think if we, how about I won't make a motion for it now, but let me like work on it a little bit and then we're gonna meet again really soon and I can propose it to the group and have like actual numbers. Cause I do think that we don't need to buy 300 little canvases, but I think if we say first come, first serve, we have this many to give out if you're interested.
That's a
go
great
pick one
idea.
up.
Yeah.
So, and then when we're done, but that doesn't mean that we are out or you can't do it. It just means we're giving out this many.
We're giving out 100 or
Yeah,
whatever, yeah.
Which I think is fair. And then people
Yeah.
can make their own and we give them a specific.
Well, and
dimension.
6x6, I mean, that's gonna be all put together, 100 6x6, it's gonna be fairly
big.
large,
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's a
you
lot
don't
of-
want to have too many.
There is a lot of space. Okay, so I'll put that together for November's meeting. The next thing I have is the art in the park. I did fix that here and say Youth Makers Fair. We need to like have a real come to grips about this event because
I
I'm
don't need to
really
be
over
involved
it.
in it. Yeah, no, we,
Like, I don't even know
so-
if parks should do it or wants
Well,
to
they
do
don't
it.
even know if they.
They don't care about it really.
either.
we don't need to be involved in it, especially since we're doing arts at the creek. I almost feel like we should just absorb, like, so next year before, when we're sending out our emails about Arts at the Creek, we should absorb whatever emails they have for past arts at the park.
Yeah, I have all the emails in there
Participants
anyway, yeah.
and say, this is it, because you're right. I don't know where Parks is going on it. Their involvement was fairly hands-off.
It has
this
been-
year,
and it
it
has been for
was-
years.
and it
I
has
think we
been-
just need to
And
say
it
like,
was, and they did have a big shakeup, like when they were kind of putting all this stuff together. But, they're doing the concerts all summer long. They're doing all these runs and what's the one? Not the trick or trot, but the other one,
spring.
the
run,
sprint, the spring. Yeah, that's going to be an official 5K or
I
whatever
honestly
it
think
is.
If we said, hey, guys, we don't think we're into it this year, I think they'd say, okay, we won't do that. And that'll make their decision easier.
Yeah, I agree. And we've always offered way more support. And this year we did just say, okay, we will show up with a table.
And it was sad for the one kid or two kids that. came.
And exactly. And so I think it
Okay.
was somewhat eye-opening as if we aren't
I also think there's
involved in
just-
it,
yeah.
it really doesn't get done. And since it's not really our main focus and we do have a really big thing that's somewhat like it, we might as well just focus all our energy on the one that we're already doing.
I think that's fair. Do we agree? I don't think that needs a motion, but
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm
Um,
liaison with Parks.
you wanna just fill
So I
them
can
in?
just tell Steve after the meeting
we're out.
that, yeah, we're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
It
also happens at a hard time when everybody's really busy.
Yeah,
I
because
think
that's
big-
another
foot
thing.
Traffic is
We're
hard.
also slammed, or it's Mother's Day,
Mhm.
or because it's different every year, I think. But so yes, the timing of it wasn't great, but we're also really ramping up with our own large major event. And so
Yes.
if we don't have the bandwidth to offer help, let's not offer our help.
All right.
We only have
No
so
more.
much.
Yep.
We only have so
I'm
much.
totally okay taking that off everybody's plate. Okay, Estacada Summer Passport. We've done it 2 years. It had huge reach this year. A lot more people bringing it back. We don't need to talk about the logistics, but do we still support putting it out?
Mm-hmm. I like it.
I think I've gotten great feedback about it. Okay.
It's low energy.
Doesn't take a whole
It
lot of
does,
effort.
and we have it set. I mean, we can just print off the same one unless we get a whole lot of new businesses coming in, a bunch of businesses moving out and we need to change some of them.
I think this year it could be fun if we do it in the spring where we have like a little bit of a lull. We could also put out like a call for an illustration on the back. Instead of, we've done Vince's art twice in a row.
We can just
But
keep
like we
the
could have,
same.
but we could also have somebody else like, hey, it's our 3rd annual summer passports coming out. If you wanted to submit an idea for art, like it could be fun to have some other random art on the back that's like a
Yeah.
local person or a kid or something like that. Could be kind of fun. And now that all the kids have seen it because it went home with everybody last year, people will know what it is.
And if we don't get a submission, we can use the same. art?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I
that
think
sounds
you
great.
need to get Vince's permission to do that.
Why?
I don't know. Doesn't he own it? Did he send it
No.
over?
No, I mean, do something entirely different on the back.
Okay.
But,
To
I thought you said
change.
to use
but if we don't get
If
any
we- If
submissions,
we wanted to use it again, we would talk to him, but I don't think we need to
Method of
clear it with him
listing.
to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
I like the idea
So we're
of
yes on
having
that.
it be a coloring in though.
Yeah.
my kids did like that.
Just like an outline thing.
Hmm.
Okay. So yes to that. Chalk walk,
I've never
Pretty-
been available to do it, so.
it's
I can
literally
speak
like
to it.
us chipping in a couple $100 to give out free chalk to people. I think it does, it helps the library to do it. I think if we do it, we should throw out that $20 per person and get some real chalk artists. I feel like that should be our,
Mm.
to put them downtown or to do it at
Yes.
Arts at the Creek, or now they've paved the walkway. So it could be a great opportunity to like have,
Do that whole.
yeah, we
thing.
could have people do art on the walkway for Arts at the Creek. I think we should keep doing it because it's relatively low cost. And then it gets our name out as something that
Okay.
we
Yep.
do. And it doesn't take a whole lot of effort, but include more chalk artists. Arts at the Creek, we already talked about that, continuing on with like a new kind of theme or focus. Yes?
Hmm.
Okay. And then the only other thing I have here was the sponsored workshops. We talked about talking about it. So let's talk about it. We were talking about just putting together, like, if we're gonna say like, are we gonna decide this year we want to have an opportunity to sponsor 3 workshops? Do we want to make a call out to people? Do we just want to kind of gently suggest it and take it as we go? We need to kind of have that conversation.
My confusion with the sponsored workshops, I thought our original objective was to promote artists and new artists. Where workshops, the way it's kind of being done right now, is like a replacement for the classes that the commission offered.
The Estacada Creek.
They seem to be 2 different things.
I think they are 2 different.
And so I to have 4 sponsored workshops for a year, I think is good for like a teaching experience. But I would like to see something more formal about promoting an artist and their work. Be
I
it
think
just-
those are 2 different
they're 2
conversations.
different things,
So
yeah.
can we talk about the workshops first and then talk
Yeah,
about the
okay.
promotion piece? Because I do think
It
they're
is,
2,
yeah,
they're
it's
not wrapped into the same
Okay,
thing at
good.
all. Yeah.
Good.
That just wasn't exactly a project. That was, I have that down here as other
Okay.
things.
I like the idea of the sponsored workshops and I like the idea of it just, it's sort of out now. We've gotten multiple people coming to us.
We had 2.
2, which is multiple, which is more than
More
one.
than one, okay.
And I don't want us to get into a spot. We have so few of us and we all have a lot going on and we all are, get very overwhelmed with the things we are already doing. We did take arts at the park off our plate, which was great, but it's like, I don't know that we want to, put out a formal call. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying.
I think
I
we-
like the idea of a gentle, if you're a local artist and you would like to put on a community workshop, we would be interested in sponsoring that. Come to us. I don't know that we need to go look, like it's out there. We're here. Come to us, as opposed to us making it a thing of going to find it.
I wonder if
Do you
we
know
could
what I
just
mean?
put a really quick thing together. So if people ask about it, we can say, this is what this would
Like a
entail.
form.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like for me,
that's a
it's
good
sort of
idea.
like it literally could be not necessarily even a form, but like a flyer. So like interested in holding a community or interested in putting on a community workshop, the Arts Commission can help you.
Yeah,
What does
totally.
this mean?
Yes.
We expect that you come to us with a proposal that outlines your idea and your needed materials and an associated cost with the fees.
Yeah,
Like
that's
the
a good idea.
workshop would be free, but we would provide an honorarium. You are responsible for creating the graphic and you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if somebody does inquire, it can be like a one pager.
Yeah.
And that way we don't have to say a number per year. We don't have to, but it can just be, so they don't come and then we give them all these vague answers. We can just say, this is the.
Is there a thing we could put on, well, we don't have our own website now, right? Or we do?
We have a website. We just
So,
don't have a Facebook,
ca-
but it
I
could be
mean,
on there.
Yeah,
So
like, can
people
we
could
put a thing on where it's literally like as simple as your name, the idea for your workshop? And so, someone could go online and fill it out. And then when we meet at our meeting, you could say, oh, we got,
Got a
a submission for an idea of workshop. And we would have a rough idea going into the meeting to talk about it and say yay or nay or whatever.
So what, can we go just, we all said a bunch of things. I didn't write it down.
Sorry.
quickly enough. No, that's okay. You
Uh,
said name,
Yeah.
name,
Name, idea.
outline for
Outline of the workshop. Contact
list of
information
materials,
and how
and
expensive you expect
associated
it to be.
costs. Contact information, how many people? How many, like, just how many people?
Or suggested location, if it's someone like a spiral, like the block print person that would say, well, I would do it at Spiral, or it's someone broader in the
Well,
community.
in
that
a
would-
Google form, it could be like Weed Creek Community Room or other, please specify.
Right,
or whatever.
like,
Okay.
and then that way, when we come into our meeting, we'll have all this information and the contact information, and we could say, great, this sounds awesome. Let's reach out to Sam Johnson and,
Do we want to say about an associated cost or an honorarium? 'Cause this is what we talked about, the difference, like, people are gonna do this. It might be to get teaching experience, it might be for a variety of different reasons, but we can't say we're gonna give you $100 and that has to cover all your fees and your time, like that, no one's gonna do it.
We set a standard a couple meetings ago for what the honorarium would be.
I think we
and how
said
much-
$100 for the honorarium, but I don't think we talked about the fees for the class. I think we said that would depend on the class because some things we have supplies for, some things we don't.
Maybe we could say up to $100.
For the
Or-
honorarium or
No, the
supply?
honorarium is $100, and then the supplies would be up to, what do you think?
wait, we
$100?
already, yeah, we did talk about this at a meeting, saying we would supply supplies up to a certain amount of,
Remember
I
what-
can't remember what it was either. But it was like, and that way, if it's supplies that we already own,
That's fine.
we'd give them that. If it's stuff we have to go to buy, we already had a cap on what we're gonna spend. I can't remember the exact.
I do think this
Price
does,
too.
yeah. And so I think the supplies the honorarium was 100. Because Christine Sellers was gonna get $200 because she had 2 workshops. And then the supplies was, I think, $50 but that may be low.
I can double check our
amount.
action and see.
But one thing I wanted to say,
I think it was $50. Now you say that.
yeah, I
Ringing a
think
bell.
that may be a little bit low,
Yeah.
But we could also say,
Well, it depends on
up
what-
to $100 for supplies.
up to 100.
But that's like negotiable based on your conversation with us and like, because it might be unreasonable, it might be reasonable, we might be able to help them with certain things.
Well, maybe
or-
they have things they want to bring.
Yeah, it depends
So
if
we-
they want to do a
so I
stained
think
glass
The
workshop.
honorarium
or
is
then if they wanna do a
$100
shop
per workshop,
so-
and the supplies are $100 per workshop, up to
Okay,
$100.
Up to $100 per
And so
workshop.
that may be raising the bar, but I think it needs to be raised. I do think we can't let them just come to us. I think because we are far enough away from the metro area, I think it's something we could post on
The CC,
yes, through
CCAA, whatever they are.
Ariella Sophie's.
Well, yeah, we
To
can,
post like
we
a
can,
call for artistic workshops, and if someone wants to teach their craft. But I think we should only have 4 a year. I think it'll just water
Yeah,
down.
I'm
our effort.
thinking in terms of calendar and budget, that we should,
Right.
even if we don't publicize it, we should say this is what we're interested in doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So
our
four.
I
max-
think 4, if we've
Yeah,
done,
4
yeah, 4 would be a
workshops.
nice, yeah.
And with Christina offering 2, that's really half of them,
Mhm.
unless you want to group it into one, but it's half the budget
Okay.
with her. So we'd be looking for 2 more. Yeah.
So
and-
let's have that ready to put out, after our next planning meeting, because we're not really ready to do anything right this moment.
No,
So, and then we have her doing something in like February, so that could be something
So,
that we
meeting
set
in
out into
March
the
or
world in
where-
2026.
Yeah.
My
Right.
goal for 2026.
and-
Yeah.
and work with Ariella to
Yep,
post
to
that
promote
for a
it.
call for artistic workshops or something, feature. Whatever that could be. It could be actually a poetry workshop or, I don't know.
Yeah,
You think
yeah, I
so?
was just kind of saying,
Yeah.
as opposed to us like going and trying to find
Yeah.
the.
It's a gentle toss into the universe.
Exactly, exactly. Come to us, we're open for it, we want to do this, but as opposed to like us going and being like, you need to go find someone that does.
I think it's often.
A painting
it's sort of
workshop.
about when they come to us, having a plan and an expectation.
Yeah, yeah.
I think putting an open call out on Clackamas
Mhm, yeah.
website is really gonna help. I think.
The Clackamas Arts Alliance
Yeah,
or
Clackamas
thing, yeah.
Art would be
Out there,
good.
yeah,
That would-
And that's why I call it an artistic workshop. I don't.
Or
care.
even, do we have any communication with Clackamas Community College?
We don't.
Personally,
I've had some
Does the Arts
With the
Alliance
writing stuff.
with the writing.
do their,
stuff.
yeah,
I
it's like,
contacted the
that
faculty
would
there,
be
but
something
I don't-
that
Specific.
we
I-
look
yeah, I
into
don't
for,
recognize
especially
any
for promotion of
response.
stuff going forward as well. Like when we've had issues, like for instance, like we're talking about the summer passport, submission or whatever. It's like Clackamas, I know a lot of kids in town in the past decade I've lived here, dozen years I've lived here, that have gone on to Clackamas Community College. And a lot of adults now that's where they had gone to college. So it's might be, as much as like, because we really opened up getting into ESD this year, which was great, like finally opening up communication with them at the high school and stuff, and might be a good idea to try to.
Do you want to look into that?
Sure, I don't know. I guess maybe, will Ariel be at our next meeting? She usually comes in or
She's in
even
South
Zooms in. It might be something to ask her about, like what she thinks, who to speak to there, how to promote their.
The workshops?
Well, no, not necessarily for everything, for Estacada Area Arts Commission, like
If you wanted
to
to reach
our
out to her.
events or whatever.
If you wanted to reach out to her, that would be a great idea. It certainly can't hurt.
Yeah.
I know their digest gets a lot of lots of eyes. Like that's largely how we
Yeah.
got people to come to Arts at the Creek. Lots of people look there.
Where the
At
Clackamas
the
County,
Clackamas County,
yeah.
yeah. I always forget if it's Cultural Alliance, Arts, CCCA, whatever it is now,
I think
Clackamas
it's-
County Cultural
I think
Alliance.
it's Clackamas County Arts Alliance. Or the art, I might even be Arts
CCAA.
Alliance of Clackamas County.
Well,
AACC.
I think so.
yeah, well, there's the Clackamas Arts Alliance, but then there's the Clackamas County Cultural Coalition or something. There's a lot of acronyms.
It's
I
all
don't know.
A's and it's all C's. We've definitely agreed on that.
Yeah, but I think with the,
We did do the poetry or the art, the design stuff through that
mhm.
group. Someplace I can find out who we contacted.
Yeah. Okay. So that we kind of bled into that last one. The last piece that we really wanted to talk about was that promoting local artists piece,
Right.
which is something we've always kind of struggled to do beyond like Arts at the Creek, where you're like providing a place for them to sell their work. I feel like we had some great ideas about how to like utilize and mobilize our Facebook page, which we no longer have. So I don't know if anybody has any ideas, like what are some more ideas we have about promotion
For people, specific arts.
for specific artists? That's the sort of our last chunk. And we're making great time. If we want to take a break, we could do that also. I know
actually
Dave,
do
you want to
go to
go
the
out.
bathroom, if you don't, mind. I'll take a break.
Everything
no,
is
take a break.
gluten-free. So are your cookies gluten-free or gluten? Gluten?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the only one.
So why don't we take, do you want to take like a 10 or 15-minute break?
Yep,
Yes.
I'll go out in March.
Okay, yeah.
Take my sign up for a while, although it's
I think
already
she
been
came
given
and
away.
took your sign. Thought she's giving it to
That's okay.
somebody else.
I think-
Good crew out there. Yeah.
What are they protesting?
It's the No Kings protest.
What's that?
Trump. Our make-believe king. Okay. We're making great time. Not a whole lot of other things. I mean, there's a lot of other. But these, I just noticed these are plastic. They're so pretty. I'm gonna go poke my head in there and ask Alex about the meeting.
Yes, that's good. Is there someone quite famous for digital art or people who we could bring in to offer workshops on digital art? Is there someone you know who does that or well respected in that field? I have a friend who's like the top designer for Nike. And they use a lot of art. You know, he designs all the tennis shoe, Wilson Smith. And it's been all these awards, but that, I don't think he would have much to say about digital art. It'd be more design art and textiles and commercial, but trying to think of who I know. Do you take classes in it? There's got to be some way for instructions because actually that's where everything is going towards. Yeah. We had opportunity, someone who wanted to use not digital art, but kind of, but where they would then send it to a 3D printer. And this group had a real hard time wrapping their head around, is that art? Yet if it was designed, there's some part in the design, but even the design, and then you send it, and you want it to be represented in 3-dimensionally rather than just 2, I would think it would be art.
Yeah. It would be.
Then when we sponsor crafters who make an Afghan according to a pattern. It's really not a different issue. Because they're not really designing anything, they're just following. But we consider that art. So I don't know.
Self-care and take care of your stuff so that you can afford it. Grab that and on a smart power and good. I'm glad you realized. Yeah, I'm hoping it's a good choice.
Okay.
My tea is so cold, I need to go microwave it. We're at a wedding, these plates are so funny. They're like the fancy paper plates at someone's wedding. It's like not fancy enough to have like porcelain plates, but fancier than paper plates. They're cute. I have to water this plant. This is insane. I'm watering this plant. This is crazy. So stoked to get people to protest. Her and Jerry have been doing this since like the 80s.
So there's a lot of American flags on the other side. Is that for?
No, I think the American flag people are these people. Cause they're like, this is our country too. Remember, we fought a whole war about this thing a long time ago.
On the other side.
Yeah, I think they're all together. This is their little peace rally. So they started doing this during after 9/11. When George Bush declared, the whole Afghanistan and Iraq war and weapons mass destruction level situation. And they just stood out on the corner. Jerry's a vet and he's actually worked for the Parks Department for years. And
You're not talking about Jerry Tenbush, are you?
no, Gloria and Jerry, I don't know their last names. No, he grew up like in like Glacier National Park, basically, and he was National Park Ranger for years. And they moved here in the 70s.
Interesting.
And they are just like a wave of old hippies that moved to Estacada around like Vortex years when the Vortex at McIver Park. It was like right after, right after Woodstock, basically. And Nixon was coming to visit Portland and the governor bussed a bunch of hippies out to McIver Park. And he was like, there's a big music festival at McIver Park, like Woodstock, to get the troublemakers or whatever out of Portland so they wouldn't protest Nixon. I get locked down. Not open to public apparently. And so they, so a bunch of people that I know, they basically drove their school bus here and stayed. And so like Jerry and Gloria, they live right in town, but like Kathy and Jerry Erickson, they live right up to 11. And it's like literally like they bought,
30 acres and drove a school bus onto it and then like built a house on like with a creek where she was like doing laundry in the creek like a homesteader. And
Rough
like,
doing laundry that way.
yeah,
I-
you know
I-
Kathy and Jerry Erickson?
No.
Okay,
I
there's,
know Gloria.
yeah, Gloria and her Jerry, I was just telling her about, this is her event that she started doing in the 80s
I wait
during
to-
after 90s after 9/11.
I see her posting about it, but my friendship with her is mostly over by nothing.
Oh,
They
really?
live right at the end of my street and
Oh,
I
yeah.
chatted with them.
Jerry
I
was
haven't-
our
Jerry?
treasurer in Page.
Well, I
So he was in Page
adore
for
him. I
years.
had the longest conversation. because
wonderful.
They're part of a club of people that ride the rails,
Mm-hmm,
like the rail cars.
mm-hmm.
And I had the most interesting conversation with him about it. And it's just,
So
they're lovely humans.
He grew up like outside of like Glacier National Park. He became a park ranger in like the 70s. He and Kathy met there. Like he's got such amazing stories. He tells us about all these amazing camping spots because he was a park ranger here,
Yeah.
or with the Forest Service. Maybe not park ranger, but with the Forest Service here. And yeah, I was telling her, I was like, oh my God, Gloria's so stoked to get all these people at her protest. She's been trying to,
I know everyone's like, don't forget there's these protests here. and
Well,
there."
yeah.
She's like, but.
yeah, so they've been doing it literally since the Iraq War and after 9/11.
Well, it used to
They
be, because
came out here-
battling, it used to be a couple of them on one corner and then across the corner, it was like the other side of the political spectrum. And it was always like, since I moved here, there's always been like just a couple of them. Maybe like
Yeah,
4 people on one side who are like liberals and peace, and then the other side was before. I
It
mean, this
was-
was many
yeah.
years ago. It was like American flags and like, just the other side of the, I don't remember what their signs were, but it was always just a couple people on either like corner. And they
so,
were very cordial with each other, 'cause they were all just like, we disagree and we're all here saying. our
yeah,
piece."
so yeah, it was
But those people
Gloria
stopped
and
coming.
Jerry and
ones on the
Kathy
other
and
side.
Jerry and Pete, now Emily, and her ex-wife. And they, just would stand and wave their peace flags, and they're all like, Emily was in the Navy, Jerry was, I believe in the Army and as
almost all,
well
Like old
as,
arts commission people are all.
yeah,
I just
because
saw Jane Reed and yeah, all sorts of.
And,
interesting people on there.
and there's all that crossover. All those people were also all on Page, and most of the Page people were also all summer celebration or arts committee.
Mhm.
I was telling our hopefully new recruit Emily about, I was like, that's funny because she was like, how'd you get involved? And I'm like, well, I tried out for a play when I did not have children and I was just housewife and I didn't know anybody and I had nothing to do. And then the woman who was directing the play was like, you should come and join our board. And she said, actually, I'm the secretary and I want to step down. You should become secretary of the board.
Yeah.
And so I literally went from like auditioning to a play to being secretary of an organization at like my first meeting.
I just saw a
Yeah.
poster
This
that
is how they get you.
there's an Estacada theater group putting on a play the first weekend in November.
What?
I saw a poster for it. I think it was online.
It's not a school one? It's
I
like a
don't think so.
theater?
It said Estacada Theater.
Yeah, and then it was like. a ton
I
of the-
thought
on
maybe
the
that there
page
were some
were all
people
the
involved
same
here.
People on the
Interesting.
Arts Commission, and most of them were also on Summer Celebration Commission. So it was like, that's how I got to know them.
These scones are wonderful. Whoever brought, yours.
Who did the?
They're
cake?
really good.
What's the flavor of them?
Oh, frittata. It's
Um,
fantastic.
Pumpkin?
I don't know, there's something sweet on it. There's some honey in it, I think.
Well, the sweetness comes from the raisins.
Oh, okay.
Then it has a drizzle,
Mm,
cinnamon
Oh,
drizzle
okay.
on it. They're a little bit dry. I was afraid they're
Mhm.
gonna be too moist.
Yeah,
but
I was
they're
thinking,
sweet.
usually you need butter on scones, but these do not. These are,
I brought some butter, but it's a butter olive oil mixture.
I appreciate this. I've been having a really hard time getting myself to eat.
Well, the frittata is healthy.
The frittata's delicious.
That's a.
Was it pesto in it?
No,
Oh, it's, yeah.
it has spinach,
Mm.
potatoes and peppers, no onions.
I got the potatoes and the peppers. Yeah.
And then there's some Italian, a little garlic powder. Pretty mild.
Oh, let's see, go away here now.
Goodness.
Come on.
Okay, yeah, I'm curious about the theater.
I just Googled it, looked,
I
I just,
Googled it too.
I just said it's connected with the Masons Lodge.
Is it the name of
We
it?
have a
or-
Masonic lodge.
I
in
don't know,
Estacada?
I can't
I
get
didn't
rid of
think
the
so.
stuff that's in the way.
I know we have a, what's
I'm
the other one?
interested here.
Moose Lodge.
I was gonna say Elks.
Oh, this is
I think it's
Estacada, oh, this is
You're
for a
right.
physical building. Rename Broadway Theater.
Cause I know the school's got a pretty great
Is there a
theater.
school play going on in early November?
There's, I think they're doing Newsies.
I'm sorry, what?
Newsies.
Oh, okay.
It's a musical.
Yeah,
That's a good music.
that's different though, yeah. that's-
Doing a musical?
And then they're also doing.
They usually do a musical, I feel like, don't they? Once a year?
Yeah, so once a year it's a musical. I think they do musicals first and then they do plays.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
And
is
they're also doing
where I go crazy.
a scare
So
thing
Yes, I
probably when
made
you watch
this
the
game.
haunted auditorium. one.
Mm-hmm.
all of those are.
They do that every
Oh my
year, so.
goodness. They're all fake.
You made
Yeah,
the
my,
flowers?
I made the flowers.
kids at
look
Rivermelt
okay.
and they always go over
Now
and
that's a
watch
real flower, but all the rest of
the
those are.
stuff at the high school. I
So
think they
I
watch the
did it
musical
too.
every year.
You
Yeah.
did this for your daughter. Last year's was
Yeah.
really good.
I just saw a blue and white sign.
I did.
That's one of my favorite movies
Extra
of all
Day.
time.
It's a-
We'll watch it every time it's on.
It
I'm
was
s-
really well done.
I'm sorry, Dave, what?
These are Italian wedding cookies. These are called Springer Lays.
Yeah.
They've all got, so I do so anyway, what I've been trying to talk, they want me to do at Art Smith is I would make a bunch of Springer Lays, imprint them, and then we pink cookies.
Ooh, fun.
So.
What?
We're not gonna. this
Baking
is-
art.
this is one of
Baking
my
art.
pieces. So I did, here's the cake. I did. This is the
Okay.
fanciest one.
Ooh,
That's all-
very fancy.
Those are all edible.
Are those all frosted? Or how do you make
Gum
them?
paste.
Just sugar?
Gum paste.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
That's
Wow,
all. fake.
Got it.
that's gorgeous.
I mean, they're all, it's not silks.
I can't believe they're not real.
No.
That's nuts.
It took almost 2 weeks just to do the.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Anyway, so that's. You need a workshop, I'll bring my cookies and we'll paint cookies for Christmas. With
I
gold.
love it.
I had a stepmom that used to make these cookies with this big metal iron
Mhm.
and these like very flowery
Huh?
shapes that you like put the iron in a thing of batter and then you dip it in like hot oil. I can't
You
remember.
know what that is.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Can't remember the
I can't
name.
remember
Yeah,
now either.
but
Scandinavian.
There's
Yeah.
Kurumkaka, there's
Yeah,
Fatiman, I
Kurumkaka,
think
yeah.
you're talking, Fatiman is more filled, but Kurumkaka is what you're talking.
yeah.
And rosettes are made that way
Rosette.
I
too.
had never
Mm.
seen or heard of such thing. as-
Rosettes are the flowery ones, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and then
Kinda
they,
like a funnel.
they puff up
Mm.
like a little donut
I
almost, but like
just
real
rented
thin.
one
Yeah,
of those
yeah.
little
And they're just topped
cookie
with powdered
presses from
sugar.
the library.
Those are rosettes.
Where
My
they're like
grandmother's
you-
both made
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Thin kind of almond.
They're really good.
And you can make them really.
Pizzelli's,
Yeah, Pizzelli's. They have a press of that you can rent at the library.
oh, I've got them.
I've rented their fondue
can
pot,
make-
like I do that probably twice a year and the kids beg me
Mhm.
to do it. Can we, just the other day, Henry was like, can we do fondue again? Can we do
You can
fondue
rent
again?
those things, that's so.
I get them all the time. I get the fondue pot. We've rented party decorations for kids parties.
I rent their floor
library.
puzzles too, because they have their whole library of things. I mean, you could
Yeah,
go and rent a wagon if you want to go rent cornhole. like
Yeah.
everything.
Ah, I had no idea.
It's like if you look at the circulation desk on the wall behind it, and this wall right here, they have so many different things like that that you can rent, which I love the idea of like cooking stuff. Because like. I
that
don't-
you
I
only use
don't
twice a
need-
year.
I
Yeah,
need
you
that.
don't want it in a cupboard, like
I don't
gathering
mind.
dust.
Well, but I've been wondering, there's several things that I own that I'm like, I never use and I would love to donate to the library. Like I have like a cotton candy machine from our
Mhm.
wedding, because
Yeah.
we did like carnival themed.
Mhm.
So we had like a popcorn machine and a little, one of those little vintagey looking ones. Like,
Mhm.
we don't use them, literally
Yeah.
not used them since then.
Yeah, that's a great idea because
To
it's like,
donate.
we've gotten stuff, like I said, for kids'
birthday parties. And like,
Mhm.
if you could pick up a cotton candy machine,
Right.
a
And then all you have to
popcorn
do is
machine, are
you
you
have to go
kidding
and
me?
get
My
like the
kids would
things
lose their
and work
fucking
with it.
minds
Right.
if I brought home like a carnival popcorn machine.
Well, I've lent them
you
out to
know?
people in Buy Nothing before,
Yeah,
but I'm like, I don't need to keep this at my house.
yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
If
that's
you
a really
need
good
one,
idea.
let me know. Until I donate it.
I think it was Dottie's like for her birthday party like a couple of years ago. I just went and got their like unicorn bin and
Yeah.
it was just like all sorts of, unicorn things. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to own these things. I don't need to go off and enrich Bezos any more than he is.
Well, you know what I wish that we
Amazon,
had in
you know?
town? That, there used to be up in my old neighborhood in Northeast Portland was a tool library for the same reason.
Mm, totally.
So like if I need a.
That's
if I
twice
need
a year you need a
like
drill.
Post hole digger.
Yeah.
I don't have to call Mike. I can be like, go to the thing and borrow it. Or like you just need
Yeah.
a certain specific tool.
I need one of
that you
those
need to
things
use
right now that
one
rips
time.
up sod. But
Yeah.
also I don't want to go and buy one because don't
Always
plan on-
ask Mike
hopefully
first,
I
yeah.
don't
Mike has
plan
a
on
weird
doing this,
combination of
whatever.
things. You never know
Should
what
ask
you'll have.
I asked my friend Randy. He said, yeah, it's called a shovel. I was like, not helpful.
Not what I was talking
It's
about.
like, unless you're gonna come over and wield it, it's not helpful.
All right. Should we
Yeah, I'm,
power on,
Mhm.
friends?
yes.
Okay.
Good time.
I'm thinking there's two things that we haven't talked about that we said we would, or we're going to talk about. One is the promotion of artists and how we can support that goal, because that's like a huge part of our existence and our goal. And the second piece is the percent for art.
Okay,
We need to talk about those two things.
okay. Well, let's go to do the
Um,
promoting local artists first, since we ended on that last.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any grand ideas. I think
don't
we
either.
had some ideas about how to like do that on social media, because that really feels like the only platform we have that's like advertising. And then that's been sort of not taken, just managed. But it will get more viewings if we do put it on the city one. It will get more viewings, but it'll be one of 10 things that the city posts
Yeah.
that week. So
Could we put it into the mold of the workshops, but it's on a different page, meaning this is actual promoting. Or for the workshops, we want 4, just give us ourselves a goal. We can change that. the
like
goal for
pick
2020
4 artists to promote.
To have 4 emerging artists nights. And it would be kind of like the workshop, but it would be preferably done either at the community center or here. Following the same format. But that we supply like a coffee and dessert, and we supply
It'd be an art show.
basically,
Sup-
well,
yeah,
yes and no,
supported
it
by
could be an
us.
art show, it could be actually a performance. But where they can talk to the artists and learn, and they can explain their heart and how, so if it's a 2-dimensional art, if it's a if it's experiential art, meaning they're gonna play the oboe and some
Right.
new type of music or whatever, I say oboe because I just bought an oboe and had to return it. Okay, the local orchestra needs an oboe player. I haven't played an oboe for 55 years. I bought an oboe. It's not a minor investment, and the oboe's broken.
No,
So, Anyway,
Double
there'll be a squeaking at the Christmas concert. That's me.
I love
I'm gonna have to switch to oboes. Anyway, but we can also advertise it on the Clackamas site. We are looking to focus for emerging artists. It could be 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional performance wise. On a special night, we'll provide, kind of a, I don't know, workshop, show, get to know the artist night. But I wouldn't do more than 4 till we get a handle on what we're
Are
doing.
you thinking like one?
For a year?
Just 4 for the year.
Yeah, so
Kind of
We-
like what we're
we'd
doing for the
wanna
workshop.
maybe we'd want to do 2 between now and our next planning meeting.
Well, I think we're thinking next calendar year.
Next calendar year.
Gotcha.
So we have some time to ramp up, but I think if we're doing 4 workshops, Ms. Sellers has 2 of them. So we've got 2 more workshops to go, if you count hers as 2. Because she's part 1 and part 2. If we have 4 emerging artists, that's 8 events, and we're doing well. If we don't make the 8, that's fine, but I think if we put the word out, you want to promote yours, we can help give you a venue, but they're responsible also for inviting people they know. We'll make it known on the Facebook page or whatever. But if we can settle on kind of a night, like on the second week of each month, we've got a workshop. And then the second week of the other month, we've got the emerging artists. So it's a set night we can schedule. It's kind of like how they have First Friday.
Mhm.
Well, we have an emerging artist night or a workshop on a set night, so you can plan for it
Right.
if possible. But if we kind of follow the same format, it's not going to seem overwhelming of how we do it.
I wonder about getting people to come to an emerging artist night. Like I would worry that
Just-
we put a lot of effort. into
Just
it.
one question. I drove back to North Dakota for a book and arts fair. It was a sort of a supposedly statewide organization. But one of the things they did was they had panel discussions, and I'm thinking if we had at least 2 or even 3 artists each time, a panel of artists is somehow less intimidating and I think more responsive than just one artist who has to fill
Fill a
up and
night.
entertain everything.
That would be
If,
interesting, yeah.
So I think if we did 2 or 3 or even 4 at a time, again, I don't know how we're going to solicit them or.
Well, again, I
but-
think to start through the Clackamas Coalition,
Okay, yeah.
because you could have some with
Like if you do a
Mhm.
panel, you're gonna want all the artists at least on the same medium, right? So you'd want like
Totally.
a panel of painters, a panel of textile artists.
I don't think you have to do that.
No.
I think it just can be, you can talk sort of about the process of not so much the physical making art, but the mental process, the use of time or space, or there are a lot of things that overlap between those. And I think that panels are number one, they're less intimidating for the artist to
Yeah,
prepare
totally.
for. And I think you get a larger audience because if you have 3 people,
They
They all
each invite
contact-
10 people, yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
other people. So
That's
I would
really-
encourage, I
that's a
like
good
that
idea.
idea,
yeah, no, I think.
but I would
think-
encourage doing it with 2 or 3 artists.
I think that's great.
Now,
That's great, because you could even have art for commercial purposes. Like, I know
Mhm.
that
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the head designers for Nike, Wilson Smith, who just retired, but
Mhm.
most of the major brands, it's under his signature.
Yeah.
He's the one who did it.
Mhm.
And so he has much to say about the creative process,
Mhm.
especially, he doesn't leverage the fact that he's a minority, but he has lots to say about how he has used it in a commercial venue, but he's really made an impact.
So you can do almost like a theme, like a panel on arts in commercial applications, a panel, months later, a panel on, a theme across the artist
Mhm.
where it doesn't have to be type of art, but
Yeah.
it could be, how you use your time or whatever it
Really
is.
great
And
examples of
Yeah.
their art, how they
And-
got from A to B and doing
Yeah.
what they're doing. So, and I think we could almost pull together those panels after we get the solicitation.
Yeah,
and have this
yeah.
venue, and
Yeah.
we group them based on, well, this would be real
Mhm.
eclectic, but very interesting. It doesn't have to be homogeneous in thought, but something that, like I'm always interested in people learning an art later on in life. It's not
Yeah.
like you've done this before. It's like,
Mhm.
what the heck? You have nothing to lose. Just
Yeah.
jump in and do a sculpture or whatever.
Yeah, and
I think
physically,
this-
the way it was set up was they sort of set up with a table and a few exhibits,
examples,
pieces to
right.
exhibit.
Yeah, so
The way I do
Florida
books at
would
the fair
be-
and
work for that.
And they can bring some things to sell. And I would think to do that, if we started off with the panel, so the 3 different people would talk about some theme or issue and answer a few questions and then break up.
They could,
Because I think it's kind of intimidating to have one artist and say,
yeah.
oh, I have to walk in, and the artist would have to
That's
say,
a
I
great
have to
idea,
amuse
too.
people and.
Well, and the thing about a panel is even if you don't have a great audience,
Mhm.
you have people to talk to each other
Right,
and they have
yeah.
each other.
And I think also we could even bring those people, but the arts is just not, it's like for a movie, it's just
Mm.
not Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
is the thousands of
Yeah,
people that help
mhm,
make
yeah,
this movie that is still considered part of art, but you actually earn your living by it as a proofreader or a storyboard or
Mhm,
whatever you
yep.
put out there for a movie. And I think there's a lot of creative things we could do to bring the emerging artists forward.
Mhm.
And I was talking to Isabella on the break time of, is there any mentoring for digital art? And there isn't any right now, but she,
So when
And
you
we'd
say
love to get
emerging
some.
artists, we wouldn't ask, you wouldn't want established artists?
established can,
Okay.
but, you know, I think.
Because I was like,
I think
we
some
might
of
be
this-
limiting ourselves if we
Yeah, I
only
think
did emerging.
Have a mixture of even people who are beginning. I don't,
Sure.
think- we're not looking for, I'm looking for a point of interest, a point of discussion to take what we think art is and maybe crash and burn our walls, but also reinforce that, you know, traditional art is still very, very valuable. But
So
I-
what if, just a thought about timing and logistics about all of it? I wonder if, because it will take some time to talk to people and gather interests, if you put together a series. Cause I like how you're saying like every other, but we can't really, like, we're not scheduling the workshops like that. What if we did it in our like downtime of like, maybe like August, September, October,
Mhm.
and do a series? And so you have until then to gather interest. We talked to like 100 artists for Arts at the Creek and in all of these things all year long as we're going, and we can promote, gather, sort, and then put on a series depending on how much interest or how many themes, and put on a series of like 3 of these or 4, depending on how many there are, that go like every 3 weeks or something in this fall time of next year where we're not really doing other things.
I would think it'd be good to label it as area artists.
Yeah.
If we do local, people kind of think, well, there's nobody good, but if you do area, it sort of hides that. And I think if we just did it, creative panel
Because if we
or
could do something
exhibition
like
and
that, like,
creative panel.
I'm kind of thinking and wondering how we
can
could end up using, like, if we don't have a whole lot of people yet,
Mhm.
we have like 50 artists that come to Arts at the Creek, and we
Yeah.
can go
Or
around and
we
talk to them
could-
and say
or
like,
we could
hey,
send
we
an
want to do
email.
this. Yeah.
I mean, we have
to
all
those
this,
people.
all this contact info. We can send out. The Estacada Arts Commission is interested in hosting an artist panel. I would say, let's take a
Interest
bite
survey kind of.
size and maybe say for September. And see if we have enough people to come up with a one night panel at some point in September. And depending on the art, August is still, I can't commit to anything in August if you guys are,
Well, other people have a hard time in August too. I
Yeah.
was just sort of thinking about like giving us time.
but
to
like
see what's
September and
there.
October, or even, just being like, we're looking to put on 1 to 2 panel discussions.
I
And
would keep away from saying panel discussions would
Yeah.
be a part of it, but to really promote emerging artists and current artists. And leave it
Right.
at that, and then let us pull together, based on what we get, let's pull together, because the format doesn't have to be the same each time. We can
Right.
change it up. But just so there's something physical that we're doing, and if we only do it 1 or 2 times, it's just, we've got to start doing something beyond.
and we could even, I think that Jesse is right, that is a good time in basically September, October, and then again in like February and March, when it's still like, or even January, February, where it's after the holidays, it's previous to really ramping up at Arts of the Creek, where you're like busy every day doing stuff for it.
I'm more thinking like this fall time is kind of the time when people are like cozy, closer to home.
Yeah,
nice to
and
take
and
trips
January, February
But then
too,
let's
where
just
it's,
do it 2 times.
in the
Like,
fall of next year.
2 times, so we can get, just
Yeah, I
get
would
started.
Yeah.
think a spring and
Just two.
fall would be kind
Yeah,
of a good.
so
way to
maybe
do it.
get one in September,
And it
one in
could be-
February or
I think that
something.
we could, I think you're right that if you do it twice,
Mhm.
it's more meaningful than having a standalone event. So I think we
Yeah.
could do like 2 in the fall.
Like
you're
September,
doing one,
October.
And then in a couple weeks come back, because you might have like, you want to kind of remind people, like you might have people that really enjoyed, or the artist from the first one might be like, well, this was cool. I
Right.
kind of want to see what's happening at the next one, and have that follow like 2 weeks later. See, it's kind of like an accompanying event. Like if you can't make one, come to the other. If you came to this one, you loved it, come to
Or
the
even
other one, or
Part or.
yeah, but
depending on-
nearish,
Mhm.
nearish each
But,
other,
Um,
depending on what the interest is. Or
Yeah,
like sort of.
and then if it's going well, we can,
That's
do
a good
it.
idea.
we-
End of September and then beginning of October, like the back end of, the end of September, the front and the beginning of October and it could be, you
After
know.
Labor Day and before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right, or Halloween,
No,
yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, before Halloween. Yeah.
I like the idea of doing it 2 weeks apart, 3 weeks apart. It is still fresh and it's, people aren't, you know what I mean? Sometimes it is
What it
time apart
would
is.
be, it'd be like having first Friday every other week. And it's
Well,
just, you know, we just want some space.
One.
I would say at least a month or, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All this can be discussed as far as
Yeah, yeah.
logistics. But I
Do
think
one after
Gate-
Labor Day and
there's
one
a
after
good-
Halloween.
tangible first step of promotion.
Yeah.
And let's just see what it becomes.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think we could just with the contact lists we have now, and then also Clackamas Arts, whatever we've decided that is called, reaching out to them as well. I'm sure we would get some submissions, like, or at least some interest, and if we get 10, we could pull 2 for, you
Yeah.
know, fairly
So
easily.
And I would like to talk to Ariella as well as getting something posted to be a part of the emerging
And maybe
artists.
depending on what the theme.
So do we want-
To do one of those as a digital art.
Do we
Yes,
want to
theme.
do one? Do we want to do one in the end of January, beginning of February? Do we want to try to see if we can get submissions going from
Well, if we do
today's
one
date
that's like,
until December? See if we have any interest, and if we've gotten interest in these 3 months, try to put one on at the end of January or beginning of February?
I will be unable to support.
Okay.
I'm gonna be gone mid-December to mid-January.
Okay.
If, I don't know if that makes
Okay,
any
so
difference. but-
maybe next year.
Maybe we'll do it
Next
in
year,
next
June.
fall, a year from now.
Yes,
Okay.
something in mid-September and something before Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Okay.
So 2 in there. If we get an overwhelming amount of a willingness to participate from the artists, then I think we can at that time saying, let's go ahead and do something in February.
Okay.
and,
Yeah.
You know, March before tax day or something. I don't know.
It is the Clackamas County Arts Alliance.
Thank you.
Finally got everything in
Okay,
right
Just
order.
gonna call it season A.
Yeah.
All right,
CCAA.
right now, let's just make it for 2
Okay.
events for
Mhm,
next
2
calendar
events in
year.
the fall, 2 in the spring. I took a light notes on what that.
Well, no,
looked
2
like.
events in the fall. We're not doing anything in the spring of 2026.
Oh, no, I was thinking the following year.
2027. So-
And, but next spring in February, you've got, the
The
first art workshop, the first 2. So we build 2 more.
In the fall.
So that gives us a total of 4 things to work on, 2 more workshops and 2 emerging artist stuff. That's enough.
And I think in the lead up to that, we could do like a little quick like bio that we would post on Facebook as like a teaser to like, come meet this artist. This is them. Like, here's a picture of their work. Come see them on this night. Like we could do like some little mini promotions of those people in the weeks before that evening happens.
And I think you want Spiral Gallery to want to participate in some level, maybe, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one.
Okay.
We don't have to make a amendment, no, or proposal on this one.
No. I don't think that these are ideas we're tossing around still. Okay.
But it is part of our goals.
Mhm.
Okay, the last one is,
Percent for public art.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see Deborah's email wondering about the binder that she made and if she gave it to you?
I don't think she gave it to me.
Also, and I cannot remember, maybe one of you saw it or could help. A cool sculpture by a local artist went up in the Wade Creek Park
Oh.
and somebody posted about it with a picture of the artist. It's like a metal sculpture. I saw it online and was like, that's cool. I wish we knew something about that so we could have at least promoted it now that it's there. And then Deborah messaged me about it too and was like, did Arts Commission do that? I was like, girl, it's been 3 months since you left.
that
We're not
Wade
that
Creek-
efficient.
Wade Creek Park?
Huh? Look at it. It's cool.
It's not
a
the,
heron.
the circle sculpture.
Oh, it's this. The circle sculpture should come up soon.
That's gonna be put back. The circle one. Ah,
It's a heron,
that's cool as heck.
right? And it's a red-winged blackbird.
Is that Parks?
local
I
artist.
mean, but
I don't know.
Parks facilitated that, I'm guessing?
I literally, I'm like, who do I ask? I don't
The
know. But
city?
it's so cool.
Obviously someone did.
And I was thinking like
Mhm.
sculpture wise, there's also somebody, and it's so funny because I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. This is also a buy nothing person of this. Her dad makes the horseshoe sculpture.
Have you seen it?
Made it funny.
Yeah, that's a good location for a heron too.
Yeah,
Red
that's
wing,
great.
yeah.
I don't recall getting any binder from Deborah.
I was like commissioned by local artists. I was like, oh, we should. But there's this man in Eagle Creek who makes these horseshoe sculptures and has created this big, huge bear out of horseshoes.
Ooh, that's
carrying
cool.
a fish. That's so cool. And I literally like, it was for sale on Facebook Marketplace.
Hmm.
And I was like, this is a local artist. It's not like, we should buy that.
Yeah.
See if I can find it.
Hmm.
It just made me think about.
I'm gonna try to meet with Deborah, in the next couple of weeks. Is there something I should be asking her about for? I'm gonna try to find her. I've got some details from Pip to cover.
I don't think so.
Yeah, ask her if she, she
doesn't
asked
know.
us,
She
so
asked
she
me.
asked, yeah.
Oh,
She-
She doesn't know because she asked Deb, or,
no, I meant
Jesse.
about the notebook or.
oh, the I don't know what the binder
Yeah,
is.
I don't either, but
I don't know, but this mystery binder, it's a mystery to us all.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, my internet is terrible here. He's also made a. Trying to get like a profile of it. But there's just like these cool, they're like, it's a horseshoe bear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure you guys.
Actually, it
have
looks
seen
like
it.
a pig.
It's a bear with a fish.
It's a big, oh.
They're not a good.
Have you seen the Veterans of Foreign War Memorial down at Happy Valley City Hall?
Mm-mm.
no.
It is spectacular.
Mm.
So you have City Hall, you have a parking lot, right next to the parking lot, there's like a berm, grassy, goes down here. Through multiple grants, they funded this sculpture to honor the veterans. And they found a local artist who worked with many of the military sites, National Guard. Up in Seattle, they donated a lot of equipment. And he took things from clipboards to everything used in national defense, and he fashioned an eagle.
Mm.
And I was there for, and it's a huge, huge eagle. I helped hem the cloth that draped the eagle. I was up to it.
Nice.
So anyway, so I went to the inauguration or the christening of this, and they had veterans from all these different wars there. And they unveiled this great big black cloth, and here's this huge eagle. But it's such a, like that, it's a sculpture of involvement because you could see, oh, look at, here's the, a weapon, or here's a thing you dig
A
trenches
right.
with. But it's the history
Yeah,
of defense from the United States for hundreds of years built into one sculpture.
that's cool.
So you had these really, these people from the, Second World War and all these different, Vietnam and stuff, actually getting so involved in this because they were amazed at how much emotion it brought of remembrance, but it's done locally, but it's kind of like that, but this thing is spectacular.
It's
What
like,
a
have you
chance.
ever seen at the
seen it.
aquariums, they'll have big sculptures made of like trash they find in the ocean, and it's like a giant
Yeah,
whale.
or the-
Yeah,
At the zoo.
yeah, they're get up closer, you're like things, handles, and it's like, yeah, no, this is actually like random stuff, and it's like, this is the kind of animal that exists in the area where they found all this random
So
stuff.
we're
I love
talking,
about sculpture, if we could do something like
yeah,
that.
we're talking
Amazing.
about our
Driving.
1% to use for public art.
So percent
that
for
right?
public art,
Mhm.
yeah, I should say that more clearly.
Okay.
Percent for public art is written into city law. And so it's a certain percentage of like whenever the city does a big project, a certain percentage of that is dedicated towards art to place in
Yeah,
that. So we have
yeah.
several,
Mhm.
we need to find out sort of where, I'm speaking for Isabella too, because I don't know how many parts of this conversation you've been party to or not. But like each different area, we have like money set aside that's not going anywhere that is for art in that place. So what we need to do around this is we need to find out what funds are available for which spaces. And then to create a process in which we select and place that art. The previous Arts Commission had a very, very extensive outline of how to go about that. Which we learned is not like part of law or expectation. It was just what they put together as like, we need to have, we just need to create our own that's a little simpler, just for the sake of getting things done. Because in my memory, when Deborah looked at it before, it was sort of like overwhelming in its complexity, the process was. But really, we need to be able to have a panel because it's not just the Arts
Yeah.
Commission, it needs to include the community. And then we need to have a selection process that we figure out.
The
And-
people
Or
that
commission
I
process.
talked to in Mankato who do the poetry workshop, the poetry signs, they've also been involved in, Mankato does a very elaborate, both temporary and permanent sculpture projects are scattered around the city. And so every year they'll have different ones, but some of them are permanent. And I can contact them and see, again, get their
What
information
the
about
process
what
they
to
use.
avoid and what to look for. And if you don't mind my doing that, I thought it might be good
What's-
background to share. And it's the same people, they were very helpful before.
What spaces, you said we have to find out what
Well,
spaces we
like
can put art on?
there is money for Wade Creek Park, the expansion in Wade Creek Park. There's also a small amount of money for that tiny little overlook park that's basically like a playground at the end of a cul-de-sac. But there's there's money there.
Overlook Park, where they have the
It's
trick
up
or treat?
above,
That's
I
a new
mean, on Reagan
construction.
Hill. No, it's not new
No.
construction. It's old. It's up by like Nicole's old house, or Nicole's
okay.
house, up the hill from me
Okay,
on Reagan Hill.
Okay.
There's a tiny little, there's a space there.
okay.
I believe in up forth on the other side, there's another park up there that has, we just have to, we need to find out from the city what the money is and where it is.
Okay.
And we talked about last year, I don't know how, I mean, I have no concept of how to go about this, but we did talk about, and I think it would be really cool to commission a sculpture artist to make a permanent sculpture of one or two of the summer celebration paper mache sculptures.
Totally.
It would be a very cool thing to be able to have that like unveiled at Arts at the Creek. I think Wally,
Mm-hmm.
it needs to be permanent. And I think it would be really cool to be able to unveil that at Arts at the Creek.
Yes.
So I have no idea how you go about commissioning a giant sculpture of a paper mache dog. But I just think that that could be a great starting point. People in Estacada would love it. It's historic. It has to do with arts and it just has to do with the community. Something simple like
So
that.
we'd
could
have
start,
the
it would be very
city put a
specific.
call out for artists under our umbrella,
I don't
basically,
know. I don't know
right?
how to go about
Well,
that.
my daughter, who was like the Alex for Happy Valley,
Right.
has an extensive 3-ring binder of artists and contacts locally who've applied. That would be a good starting place to put a call out. Let me ask her.
Okay.
So
Do
Just
we,
as far as like, there's a lot of projects out there, but this is something, that particular one is something.
can
sort of
we
talked
make up
about.
a flyer and drop it off with so the Spiral Co-op members could see it? That might be something, like we have a local art gallery and we know some of them are sculptors.
I think that the way to go about that would be less dropping a flyer off and more showing up at a meeting and saying, do you guys have any sculptors in your co-op that would be interested in this?
Do you know when their meetings are?
It is the first Monday after the first Friday. This is how they roll. So it's the first Monday after the
I
first
don't
Friday.
even know what
That
these
organization's
words
The
mean.
Spiral Gallery.
Isn't a Monday always after a Friday? I'm so confused. Oh, I
Friday
see.
after
It would
Christmas.
be like the 14th of November. Or no, it'd be like the 10th of November. The first Friday is the 7th. It's the first Monday
We
after
meet
the first
after
Friday.
The first Friday.
I get you. I get you.
So it's not always the first, yeah.
So this year it would, or so this month it would have been the 6th.
I also
Okay.
think because we're gonna have to put official call out,
Mhm.
which is again, probably through Clackamas.
Yeah, but I think we would have to put a call out, but if we're gonna do something that we're commissioning, then it's also like specifically reaching out to
Right.
people that have the skill set to do that too.
Yeah, I think those are two different things. If we want to commission a work of art,
Mhm.
where we're saying this is the work of art we want,
Yeah.
then I think number one, we'd have to act on it.
Mhm.
And then number two, we would have to
Then
contact a person. or-
we figure out who.
Yeah,
we
we-
Well, I think it
we're
literally
not
might
asking
be-
people to contact us. We
Yeah.
need to figure out
But I
what
think if you're
sculptor
saying we want to just have,
use.
No, I think it's actually the reverse. You put a call into, you want a sculpture that represents this paper mache dog. and You put a call out to the sculptors and have them propose what they want to do.
Oh.
Then we can make a choice. You can't just simply choose.
oh, I think it would be the other way around. If we want to commission a specific
Then you
thing.
commission based on
But
what
if we want to just say we want a work of art for the, for local values in front of the city hall, then we would do the
I think
solicitation.
it's both. I think I think we can
Well,
put out a call
uh,
and reach out to specific people.
Uh,
I don't know. This is a very specific and
Yeah,
weird
I think
ask.
we need to check with the city office about procedures on that.
Mhm.
And I'll get information from Mankato just to see what they've been through and what we can maybe avoid going through.
Yeah, yeah.
So would first step be maybe ask Alex if she can figure out
I don't think. that-
or who do we ask at the
Ask who we
city?
ask. Yeah.
Yeah,
them to
ask us who we ask to find out A, budget, and B, place. And then
I'm
once we
already,
figure those out,
yeah, I
then-
need to email Melanie about the arts hanging thing too. So why don't I just include that and say,
Yeah.
we're reviewing
We're-
what our scope is, 4% for public arts.
and,
Can I get a
and
list
even
of?
be specific, say, we're interested in getting that paper mache dog sculpture put permanently at Wade Creek Park. Is that something we can do? Cause if
She
she's like,
knows.
yes,
That is something we can do. I've
okay,
talked to her
so
about
then
it.
I say we go with that. Cause
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a hard enough lift, but we already know it and specific, and so let's do it.
That feels like one that we could
Yeah, let's
chop
move.
off, but I also think we need to find out just sort of like, what's the scope?
And yeah, and,
What money is there for
for
what
next
place?
year's allotment, it'll be good to know this.
Well, and yeah, I mean, if we get
Cause we get
one
it every
done, we
year,
can-
don't we?
It's not yearly, it's by project.
Mm.
So like the
Oh.
Wade Creek project is done. That Overlook Park was built years ago.
Okay,
That money is still there for us to use, even though it was done years ago. So there's not like a clock on it. That's why it's been something that's been pushed off for years, because there's been such an overturn of the commission and nobody's wanted to take it on because it feels like this huge thing. So I think based on our numbers and bandwidth, we need to make it more streamlined.
Bite-sized, yeah.
Talking to these bigger cities is great. And we need to make it fit for Estacada and for us. Like, we have to make it do something that is something we can actually take action on, because we don't want to sit around on our laurels all this time while the money is out there that we could be giving to artists.
I
So-
think let's do Wade Creek Park dog sculpture. Is done, implemented in however
and we
however
call
long
out
it'll
to- so you
take.
Take pictures.
Then
to
we
say,
can,
"Hey, we
like-
want a memorial alley."
And then we can go and be like, all right, now let's do that little overlooked.
So I'll
little
find,
land there.
I will find Melanie, and then, we can get the binder from whatever has some things too.
And then,
I'll
and so do we also want to put sculptors on the, like, write something up and